Every year, millions of homeowners walk into a dealership or scroll through page after page of zero-turn mowers and make the same expensive mistake. They buy the one with the biggest number on the box, the brightest color on the floor, or the name their neighbor mentioned once, without ever understanding what separates a machine that will still be cutting clean in year 10 from one that starts giving up in year 3. The residential zero-turn market in 2026 has never had more options and never had more ways to spend money wrong. That is why today I am giving you the best residential zero-turn mowers of 2026, ranked honestly, explained fully, and chosen by the one standard that actually matters when the season gets real. Stay all the way through because the last machine on this list is one that is quietly changing what residential mowing even means in 2026. Starting off with number 5 is the Toro TimeCutter MyRIDE. Ask any homeowner who has mowed a large property for 10 straight summers what the worst part of the job is, and they will not say the heat, the time, or the fuel cost. They will say the beating their back takes every single pass over rough ground. That is the problem this industry ignored for decades. Toro decided to actually solve it, and the machine they built around that solution is exactly why the TimeCutter MyRIDE earned a spot on this list. Toro has been engineering outdoor equipment since 1914, over a century. The same company supplying professional landscaping crews who run machines 8 hours a day built the TimeCutter line specifically to bring commercial-grade engineering into residential hands. Now let's start with the MyRIDE suspension system, the feature that completely changes the mowing experience by isolating the entire operator platform from the frame with 3.6 inches of adjustable travel, turning rough, punishing ground into a shockingly smooth ride owners compare to sitting inside a tank. Under the hood sits a 22-horsepower Kohler Feet twin engine, smooth, strong, and built to keep pulling when the grass gets thick, wet, and heavy. This is not an engine that struggles when conditions get difficult. It is the kind of power plant that makes a large yard feel smaller every time you fire it up. The 42-inch deck is iron-forged grade 50, hardened 10-gauge fabricated steel with a reinforced bullnose leading edge, the same material grade used in structural steel construction, not stamped, not thin consumer-grade sheet metal. Blade tip speed reaches 17,810 feet per minute, delivering a clean, even finish every pass. Cutting height adjusts from 1.5 to 4.5 inches, giving you complete control over the final cut. Top speed reaches 7 miles per hour, and the 3-gallon fuel tank gives you enough runtime to cover serious ground before stopping. The 18-inch rear tires provide a wide, planted stance that feels stable the moment the machine starts moving. And the Smart Speed system is one of the most underrated features here, allowing you to slow ground speed without sacrificing blade performance. Current verified pricing for the 42-inch TimeCutter MyRIDE sits around $4,400 through Lowe's and authorized Toro dealers. The larger 54-inch TimeCutter Max MyRIDE with the 23-horsepower Kawasaki V-twin steps up to roughly $5,499. Both are backed by a 3-year unlimited-hour residential warranty, supported through more than 3,000 Toro servicing dealers across the United States and Canada. Now the honest part. Zero-turn mowers are not designed for steep slopes, and the TimeCutter is no exception. Toro recommends it for flat to gently rolling terrain. The 42-inch deck is also not the fastest choice for properties consistently larger than 2 acres, where the 50-inch and 54-inch models make more sense. And yes, the price is real money. Moving in at number 4 is the John Deere Z254F Electric Z Track. And before you say anything, just hear me out. Because what John Deere did with this machine is not what you think. This is not a golf cart with blades underneath it. This is not a quiet little toy for small suburban yards. This is the future of residential mowing, built by a company that has been engineering outdoor equipment since 1837, and they did not step into the electric market to experiment. They stepped in to dominate it. Here is what genuinely stops people cold the first time they use one. You turn the key and you hear nothing. No coughing engine, no exhaust hitting you in the face, no fuel smell on your clothes when you walk back inside. Just instant silent torque moving you forward. Smooth, powerful, and completely in control. That feeling alone is worth more than any spec on the sheet. The 3.56 kilowatt-hour sealed lithium-ion battery cuts a full 2 acres on a single charge. And here is the part that surprised even experienced reviewers. John Deere's battery carries up to twice the capacity of competing electric zero-turns fighting for the same buyer at this price. When those machines are turning around at 1 acre, this one is still running. You charge it from any standard 110-volt outdoor outlet with nothing more than an extension cord. The 42-inch Axle Deep Deck is the same engineering John Deere runs on their gas-powered Z300Z track lineup. Deep deck airflow, optimized blades, and a clean, consistent cut from 1.25 inches all the way to 4.5 inches in precise quarter-inch steps. The whole machine is weatherized using the same dust and water protection technology John Deere puts on their agriculture and construction equipment. You can wash it with a garden hose and store it outdoors without a second thought. The Smart Connector pushes battery status, operating hours, and controller software updates directly to your phone through the John Deere Equipment mobile app. No dealer visit, no appointment, no waiting. And with no oil changes, no spark plugs, no air filter, and no fuel stabilizer sitting all winter, the maintenance on this machine compared to a gas mower is practically non-existent. Current retail price of Z370R starts at $6,399 through authorized John Deere dealers. That price comes with a 3-year or 200-hour bumper-to-bumper warranty, 5 years of dedicated battery coverage, and an optional protection plan that extends lithium-ion battery support all the way to 10 years or 400 hours. Now the honest part, at $6,399, this is serious money, especially when a comparable gas-powered Z-Track like the Z320R with a 42-inch deck comes in around $3,699. The 2-acre charge range is also condition-dependent. Heavy grass, hills, and high-speed mowing all shorten that number in real use. The 6 to 12-hour recharge time means back-to-back same-day mowing on larger properties requires planning ahead. And if your property pushes past 2 acres regularly, step up to the Z380R with the 54-inch deck and 7.12 kilowatt-hour battery rated for up to 3.5 acres. The Z370R was not built for that demand. Positioned at number 3 is the Ego Power Plus Z6. Most people buying an electric zero-turn mower are making one of 2 mistakes. They are buying underpowered and finding out on the first real mowing day, or they are buying a machine that runs out of charge before the yard is done. Ego looked at both of those problems, threw them out entirely, and built something the industry had never seen before. 4 independent brushless motors, a battery system that expands as far as your property demands, and the only zero-turn on this list that lets you choose exactly how aggressive or how controlled your ride feels before you even move an inch. Ego is not a startup chasing a trend. They are the brand that has spent over a decade proving that battery-powered outdoor equipment is not a compromise, it is an upgrade. The same 56-volt ARC lithium battery that runs your Ego leaf blower, your chainsaw, and your string trimmer also powers the Z6 through its peak power technology. Here is what makes the Z6 genuinely shocking to anyone who has mowed on gas. 4 independent brushless motors deliver the equivalent of 22 horsepower, 1 motor per wheel, separate from the 2 deck motors, meaning the drivetrain and the cutting system never compete for the same power source. The result is a consistently clean cut and steady drive response, even when the grass starts pushing back harder. It moves fast when you need it to, reaching up to 8 miles per hour, and the battery system is built to match real yard demands, handling around 2 acres on a full charge, with expansion support that pushes total coverage to about 3 acres before you ever need to stop. Recharging is quick enough to fit into a normal routine, with all 4 batteries back up in roughly 2 hours, and the 42-inch steel deck gives you a cutting range from 1.5 to 4 inches, so you stay in control of the final finish without overthinking it. The adjustable hydraulic seat suspension absorbs ground vibration independently of the frame. An LCD interface delivers 3 driving modes: Control, Standard, and Sport, switchable with one finger while mowing. Bluetooth connectivity, LED headlights, and a USB charging port comes standard on every unit. Now let's talk about price and availability. The Z6 with 410 ampere-hour batteries is currently priced around $3,999 at Amazon and Lowe's, down from $5,499, while the e-Steer version with 412 ampere-hour batteries and a steering wheel control system runs roughly $4,999 to $5,999, both backed by Ego's 5-year warranty covering the tool, batteries, and charger with registration. Now, the honest part. The Z6 is best suited for flat to gently rolling terrain, since steep slope performance is limited, like most zero-turn mowers in this class. Runtime also depends heavily on conditions, and thick, wet grass or running in sport mode will reduce range below the stated 2-acre coverage. Fully loaded with batteries, it is a heavy machine, which can be noticeable on soft or muddy ground, and at 8 miles per hour in sport mode, it requires real control and experience from new operators. Moving in at number 2 is the Ariens Ikon XD, a zero-turn mower brand from Brillion, Wisconsin, built on a nearly century-old engineering philosophy dating back to 1933, where every bolt, belt, and component is tested and refined before it ever leaves the factory, creating a machine that completely resets what you expect from a big-box mower. Here is what makes the Ikon XD different from the first moment you look at it. That frame is a heavy-duty, fully welded tubular steel chassis, not bolted together, not stamped plate, continuously welded tube steel that forms a rigid single structure from front to back. When the ground gets rough and the wheels are pushing and pulling in different directions, a welded tubular frame absorbs and distributes those forces without flexing, cracking, or loosening over time. Budget machines with bolted frames develop play in those joints after 2 seasons. The Ikon XD does not have that conversation. The 52-inch Envy fabricated deck is 11-gauge steel, 4.5 inches deep, running 3 blades on a deck designed for airflow, not just cutting width. Deep deck geometry lifts the grass blade before the cut and creates a vacuum that pulls clippings up and out cleanly. That is why the Ikon XD's cut quality is consistent regardless of whether you're discharging, mulching, or bagging. The self-adjusting deck drive belt system requires 0 manual tension maintenance. It adjusts itself automatically every time the PTO engages. Power comes from a Kawasaki FR691VV twin engine, a 726 cubic centimeters, 23 horsepower unit with cast iron cylinder liners and automatic compression release, built to start easy and stay consistent even under load. What that translates to in the real world is steady pulling power that does not fade when the yard gets thick or uneven. That strength feeds into Hydro Gear EZT transaxles, professional-grade units designed for higher torque handling and smoother load response, the same class of transmission used on machines that work far beyond typical residential duty. Cutting height runs from 1.5 to 4.5 inches across 13 positions, adjusted right from the seat, so you're not constantly stopping to dial things in. Up front, 11 by 6-inch tires keep the stance stable, while the high back seat with padded armrests and seat slide adjustment makes long mowing sessions feel controlled instead of exhausting. And small details matter here. USB charging, a phone holder, and a flip-up deck access panel make routine use and maintenance far more practical than most machines in this class. Current verified pricing on the Ikon XD 52 cites roughly between $3,499 and $4,299, depending on variant and dealer, backed by a 3-year or 300-hour limited warranty. Now the honest part. The Ikon XD is available exclusively through authorized Ariens dealers, not big box stores, which means you need to find a dealer in your area. That access point is actually a strength for service and warranty support, but it does mean you cannot just walk into Lowe's and pick one up same day. The machine is also best suited for properties up to 3 acres on moderate terrain, and like all residential zero turns, steep slope performance is limited. But here is what 9 decades of engineering discipline actually produces. A machine owners run for 10, 12, even 15 years without it letting them down, and that is not luck, that is Ariens. Want to know what a century of outdoor equipment engineering looks like in your backyard? A zero-turn mower that cuts cleaner than most in its class, runs a Kawasaki engine trusted by professional landscapers who rely on it for income, and is backed by a warranty supported by a dealer network that actually answers the phone. And that is exactly why the Husqvarna Z254F earned the #1 spot on this list. Here is the thing about the Kawasaki engine in this machine that most people walk right past without understanding. The Z254F runs a 24-horsepower Kawasaki V-twin displacing 726 cubic centimeters, the same engine family that professional lawn care operators specify when their livelihood depends on a machine that does not fail mid-job. This is not a house engine, not a budget single-cylinder trying to pull a 54-inch deck. It is a Kawasaki, built specifically for sustained heavy-duty operation, sitting inside a residential machine. That engine choice alone puts the Z254F in a completely different category from everything competing against it at the same price point. That 54-inch clear-cut fabricated deck is built from welded 10-gauge steel with reinforcement strips placed directly at the stress points, the areas that take the most punishment over time. 3 blades powered by Husqvarna's air induction system pull air from both above and below the deck, lifting grass up right before the cut. And that dual airflow design is exactly why the Z254F delivers a cleaner, more even finish whether you are discharging, mulching, or bagging. Top ground speed reaches 6.5 miles per hour forward and 3.5 miles per hour in reverse, giving you strong coverage without feeling out of control. The 3.5-gallon fuel tank supports extended runtime across larger properties without constant refueling breaks. The frame is designed with rubber isolators that reduce vibration transfer to the operator platform. So instead of feeling every bump through your hands and seat, the machine stays more composed during long mowing sessions. Up front, 11 by 6-inch wheels provide steering stability, while the 18 by 9.5-inch rear tires give it a wide, planted stance that holds steady over uneven ground. The Autopark brake system engages automatically when the steering levers are released, built-in safety without extra steps. A removable footplate also gives direct access to the deck for quick cleaning and maintenance, without tools. It is backed by a 3-year bumper-to-bumper residential warranty and currently sells between $3,199 and $3,499, depending on dealer and availability, making it a seriously competitive package in its class. Now the honest part. The Z254F does not include a fuel gauge. Real owners have noted this, and it has caused unexpected run-dry situations mid-mow. Steep slope traction can be limited on aggressive grades, like every zero turn in this class, and in tight urban yards with heavy electrical interference, indoor sensitivity slightly decreases. Take it outside to open ground for the best performance assessment. But for a residential zero turn at this price, with a Kawasaki engine, a fabricated 10-gauge deck, a dealer-backed 3-year warranty, and a legacy of engineering refinement behind it, the Z254F stands as one of the most complete zero-turn packages on this entire list. When it comes to choosing the right residential zero-turn mower, the difference is not just in horsepower or deck size. It is in how a machine holds up when real life starts testing it week after week. If this video helped you cut through the confusion and get closer to the right decision, take a second to like the video so it can reach others who are still stuck in the same research loop. Drop a comment and tell me which mower surprised you the most, or which one you're actually considering for your own yard. Real experiences always help others make better choices. And if you want more deep, no-nonsense breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe, because we are just getting started. I will see you in the next one.